Today on Dr. Phil.
Her husband was not exactly who he claimed to be.
Dr. Timothy Sabolsi, James Sadolsi, Andrew, TJ, Jimmy.
Did she marry an imposter?
There was never any lies. Did I hold a NASCAR driving license? Yes, I did.
NASCAR said he never completed the application. This says law offices of Andrew J. Sadolci. Do you have a law degree?
No, I have no idea where you got that from.
I thought he was a retired Beverly Hills psychiatrist.
Where did you get your PsyD?
Regis at University of Budapest.
University of Budapest doesn't exist.
I'm sweating it.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phil.
How you doing? Hey, guys. How are y'all? Okay, I want you to imagine meeting the man of your dreams, your knight in shining armor, the one who turns your life from dull to dazzling. Now, Sherry thought she had hit the love lottery when she met Tim. She says he told her he was a successful doctor from Beverly Hills and a wealthy and well-traveled business entrepreneur. Theirs was a whirlwind romance, and just 4 months after they met, she became a doctor's wife. Well, so she thought. Take a look.
I met Dr. Timothy Sabolsi in May 2012 at a local pub. My romance was extremely quick. I was swept off my feet. He was so charismatic, attractive. I was smitten very quickly.
Was it love at first sight? I would have to say yes. We clicked very well together. She was the kind of person that you wanted to be around all the time.
He told me he was a retired Beverly Hills doctor. He was an ex-NHL hockey player who played for the Winnipeg Jets and then the Hartford Whalers. He told me he was a Canadian Air Force pilot who was the pilot for the Prime Minister. He went to Pepperdine for an MBA. He was a Yale graduate and UCLA for his medical training. Within 3 weeks, Tim proposed.
I took her for a very nice dinner, and when she came out from dinner, I had the carriage out there waiting. I got down on one knee and proposed to her.
Tim promised he would give me this wonderful, luxurious wedding and pay for everything. 2 days before the wedding, he told me that his bank accounts were frozen and he didn't have access to any money at all. So he asked if I would put it on my credit and don't worry about it. We got married on a beautiful beach, and then we had a reception fully catered with seafood and lobster. And then the very next day, we went off to Cancun for a week honeymoon. After we got back, he told me it would all be paid off by September 30th, and September 30th came around and there was no money. There was promise after promise that never came to be. Things started seeming like they just weren't quite right.
Well, after a month of marriage, Sherry says she became suspicious of Tim. She began to suspect him of cheating, and she wondered where all of his money was, because he certainly wasn't paying any bills. Now, Sherry started to snoop around and soon discovered what she says was a trail of lies. Take a look.
After being married to Dr. Timothy Sabolsi for 6 months, I found an old email from a woman in New York, and she was calling him Andrew, asking for her $31,000. I contacted her. I asked her if she had a photo, that maybe she had the wrong person. She responded to me saying that I needed to contact CBS in Fort Worth, Texas, the news department, that they would have footage from 2007, and that's what I did.
His name is Andrew Sadolsi, but that might not even be real. Where did you go to medical school, sir? Where'd you go? Why are you practicing medicine and psychology? There's no record you have a license, sir.
Andrew Sadolsi ran a pain management clinic in Garland. Robert Buckholtz, the clinic's attorney, says his client filed criminal charges against Sadolsi for allegedly stealing more than $30,000.
Andrew Sadolsi eventually went to jail. In October 2009, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. But less than a year later, he was paroled and deported to Canada.
Watching the news story, it was devastating. I knew that I had to get him out the next day. I was so angry and hurt that I didn't want anyone else to go through this again.
Well, Sherry says she wondered how many other people have been what she calls scammed by Tim. So she decided to tell her story to the press. Now, headlines called Tim an imposter husband. Take a look.
I was in shock, and I really didn't know what to do, so I went to the press.
Tonight, an I-Team exclusive. She fell in love, got married, and then discovered her husband was not exactly who he claimed to be.
I don't know who this person is. I don't know him. I don't know where he's been, what he's done. It's all a lie.
Did you tell Sherry, the woman that you married, that you were a Beverly Hills psychiatrist?
I'd like to ask Dr. Timothy Sabolsi, James Sadolsi, Andrew, TJ, Jimmy, whatever name he's going by today, why? Why me?
All right, well, Sherry, I'm glad to meet you.
Glad to meet you.
And you believe that Tim is a con man.
Yes.
You think he scammed you,
Yes.
and he scammed a whole lot of other people, right?
Absolutely.
And you know that he has said to us that he thinks that this could be salvaged,
Yes.
that his relationship with you could be salvaged. And so we'll talk about that today, and I'm going to give him a chance to come clean with you and clear everything up. Now, we're getting ready to add him to the show, and he's in Canada. He's on satellite. He's not here because he said you had his passport and wouldn't give it back because you're controlling him, because you don't want him here. But from what we can find out, he's been deported and can't get back into the country. Tim says the press has been chasing him down for his side of the story, but he has never spoken out until today. He says he is here to clear his name and set the record straight. But first, let's clear up the issue about who owes who money in this marriage. Take a look.
I have lost at least $50,000 in terms of the wedding and fully supporting him for 6 months.
As for the wedding, I think she spent about $26,000 on it. The discussion over money was always that she would take care of it, and it was pretty well being put on the line of credit, and we always had the intent of paying it together. Now that we're not together, the story changes that now I'm supposedly responsible for all this money. I showed her how much money I had stashed, and I think she got extremely upset over that because I was not willing to cash that money in to pay off her debts. Debts that I feel are not mine.
I married a con man.
Well, Tim is joining us now in an exclusive interview via satellite from Canada. Tell me why you wanted to be here today.
I think this story's been getting a little carried away. You know, saying it's making me seem like a thief in the night to have walked into her bank account, took $50,000 and ran away. This seems to be the concise way this story's being played out, and it's completely incorrect, and it's unfounded.
This wedding that you had cost how much, Sherry?
It was roughly about $22,000.
Now, Tim, your understanding was that you guys were going to pay for that on kind of a 50-50 basis, correct?
That is correct. I mean, we were living together. We did the wedding. The plan was that we would pay for it as fast as we could. Right. There was never any contention that it would never get done. It was just certain circumstances popped up that kind of delayed it happening. And then with the demise of this relationship, it never did get paid yet. Because there's never been really any serious conversations.
Well, this is a serious conversation, so I hope we can put these things behind us. Early in the relationship, at that early phase, were you lying to her?
No, I wasn't lying to her. I mean, the whole issue spans here with the media was the fact that she found out about the one occurrence in the bad business deal out of Texas, and she then, instead of sitting and discussing that with me, she just ran off and started discussing it with the media.
You've told us, in fact, you've been amazingly forthcoming about this. You've told us that you are not in financial straits, that you actually have several $100,000 in an account with a brokerage, John Hancock, and that you got $100,000 worth of gold coins in a safe deposit box, correct?
I don't know whether I'd say it's 100,000 in gold coins. It's probably not worth that much anymore, but I do have the 401k that I have stashed, yes, and it's no longer at Hancock. It has been moved.
If you have several $100,000, why would you not just pay for the wedding and not have this strife between the two of you?
The answer to that question is a really simple one. I mean, to cash out that money, we would walk away with less than half of what is in there now. And the idea of that was for our retirement. I mean, to simply work hard and pay for $23,000 is not a great task. It would have been paid already had it not been for Sherry constantly pilfering with the media, which is costing me money on a daily basis.
I want to ask you a couple of questions about this 401k. Sherry says that you said that you had $800,000 in a 401k, a home in Cardiff that you rented out to tenants. Now, your fiance said he told me he was a millionaire. He made it sound like he would take care of me and my kids. And then you told us, I have a piece of property in San Diego and over $600,000 in a 401k. I will send you a document of my 401k with John Hancock. That's correct, true?
I said I would be happy to show it, log in and show it, but I was not going to send too many documents. I'm not about to put what I have out there, but yes, it is true. That's what I have.
Well, you did show it to us, actually. You sent us a picture of the 401k. We actually talked to a John Hancock representative, and he said there are no records of your name, your social security number provided by you to us, or the account numbers that you provided. In fact, he says that the numbers, that their account numbers are 5 or 6 digits long, and the account number that you provided us in this picture has 9 digits. So they're saying there is no way possible that you could have an account there. They don't have that name or any other name or that account number or that social security number, and never have, not now nor at any time in the past. So what do you say about that? You told her and us you had about $100,000 worth of coins. It looks like these have been photoshopped into this stock picture of a safe deposit box. Did you Photoshop them into the box?
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil, what turned this beauty
She beat up one of her friends. I broke her nose.
into a violent vixen?
She says that you're hitting her.
Being spanking is not hitting you.
I've watched you beat my mom my whole life, ripped her shirt up, blood marks all over.
No, that's discipline.
Have you thrown your wife on the ground and hit her?
No.
Yes, he has. Who do you think you are?
I'm in charge of the household. That's who I am.
That's tomorrow.
You sent us a screen grab of that account with your name and those numbers, and we talked to John Hancock, and they said it's just not true.
Okay, the money does exist. It is in there, but it is not under my name, and nor is it under that account number.
Well, how did you get a
And like I said, it has been moved.
How did you get a screen grab with your name on it then?
It was done by a banker friend of mine.
Okay. So what you sent us,
I mean, again,
was false.
I mean, again, I go in. No, it's not so much false. It was changed to protect where I had the income. That is, yeah, I apologize, but that is the truth.
You told her and us that you had you didn't say exact, but you had to praise. You said about $100,000 worth of coins, gold coins, that you had gotten on a dive. We have the picture that you're looking at right now on the screen of these coins in a safe deposit box, correct?
No, I didn't show you those pictures. No, I did not.
Where did you get this picture, Sherry?
They were sent from Tim to me.
Did you send her an email with that picture in it?
It was sent from a friend of mine down in the States. Yes, it was sent from there.
This is the picture that was sent to you, correct?
Yes.
And we got this from you that has the coins in it. And we reverse Googled this picture to see if it occurred anywhere else on the internet, and this picture came up with a key in the middle. And I thought, well, those look awfully similar. It looks like these have been photoshopped into this stock picture of a safe deposit box. And then I looked at what's called the patina, which is oxidation that takes place on metal. And if you look at the patina here and the patina here, it is exactly the same. This picture and this picture are the same picture, but one of them's got coins in it and the other one doesn't. So your friend that sent this to your wife photoshopped these coins into that box, did he not?
Well, obviously it looks like he did in that case, doesn't it?
But how did he send it from your email?
It was emailed to me, and then I forwarded it to Sherry. There's a trail on that.
Did you Photoshop them into
No, I
the
did
box?
Not. No, I did not. It was basically to get her off my back, and I mean, at that period in time, she was really, you know, coming after me in a hard way over a lot of things, and I was just trying to, I guess, you know, people were trying to help me appease her so that we'd have a little bit of breathing room where I might be able to talk to her.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, because you got to give him credit, because he's telling you the truth here. He's saying they were photoshopped into the box. They were sent to you so you would back off and quit bugging him. Well, Sherry says when they first met, Tim presented himself as a doctor, and I think he's going to dispute this. But take a look at what he said when he asked him about his title.
I was a psychologist. Organizational psychology is what I went to school for. I never told her I was a psychiatrist. I said I was a psychologist. I did organizational psychology. But in Beverly Hills, I had a pain management clinic. And that's pretty well exactly the same thing that I carried on out in the business that I took to Texas. I wasn't licensed because I ran the company, so I really didn't practice. As an organizational psychologist, I mean, you're more about running things. That's what I do. I run stuff. I'm good at how to guide people and make them do what I need them to do that makes everybody money.
Tim, did you tell her you were a retired psychiatrist? You've never held yourself out to be a doctor.
I never said I was a licensed doctor to her at any given time. God, I'm sweating to death here.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter, so you won't miss what's coming up next. Log on to drphil.com today. Tim, did you tell her you were a retired psychiatrist?
Never said that. I told her I had a clinic in Beverly Hills. That is true, and I did have one.
Did you ever hold yourself out to be a medical doctor?
No, I did not.
You're a psychologist, right?
I study that, yes. I never said I was a psychiatrist, never held myself out to be a doctor, never said I could write prescriptions. None of that has ever come up.
Okay. You've never held yourself out to be a doctor?
No, never.
One of you's lying. Are you lying to me,
I don't think it's
Sherry?
No, I'm not lying.
This isn't. No, come on, Tim. Be fair. This is not a gray area. You either held yourself out to her that you were a doctor, or you didn't. And if she says you did and you didn't, then she's lying. And you can't make excuses for her. She's just lying.
It's not about lying. I think it's just a complete misconception of what she thinks one is and what another is. I mean, I never said psychiatry ever.
Well, are you a
Psychology,
psychologist?
yes.
Do you have a doctorate of
I've done the
psychology?
schooling. I never said I was a licensed doctor to her at any given time. I did say that I had a clinic, and I have run many clinics. My job has always been to run clinics and or hire the physicians that work in them.
You said you never held yourself out to be a doctor, but the Texas Medical Board on November 23rd of 2010, the board entered a cease and desist order against Andrew J. Sadolch, prohibiting Mr. Sadolch from practicing as a physician or impersonating or identifying himself as a physician. The action was taken on the board's finding that Mr. Sadolch unlawfully engaged in the unlicensed practice of medicine in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and impersonated a physician in the public domain and represented himself as a physician by using the term doctor and MD following his name.
That is correct. That is part of the story that has been misconstrued over this Texas issue. In Texas, I owned the company. I never practiced, never purported to practice. However, when my partners had moved me out of my own company, and I was basically dissolved, myself and my other partner lost our positions of ownership. At that point is when all of this legal battle broke out.
So this was
it came from a lawsuit.
This was retribution.
Yeah, it totally was. I went after them, and they started to come after me.
You're Timothy John Sabolchi, and you have here a date of birth of 8/20/61, born in Bernie, but then it says James Sadolchi, and it has a date of birth of 8/1/60 with a place of birth in Florida. Okay, then you've got another date of birth, 8/1/61, with a different name, Andrew James Sadolch. Then there's Andrew Day Sadoich, and there's a date of birth here of 8/20/59 and a social security number. Then there's Andrew Sadolo with a date of birth that's the same as Andrew J. Sadoich. And then there's James Sadolchi and has a social security number that is different from this social security number. So I count 6 names, date of birth 4, place of birth 2, and social security numbers 2. I am puzzled. So please explain. Where did you get your PsyD?
I went to Regis, and I studied in University of Budapest.
University of Budapest. Well, this doesn't exist. The show doesn't stop when I walk off stage. Visit drphil.com for exclusive video and advice you won't find anywhere else. And be sure to sign up for our newsletter while you're there to be the first to know what's coming up on the Dr. Phil Show. So log on today. What are you waiting for? So please explain.
There's nothing to explain. I've only used 2 names. I don't know where these other ones come from. They're not affiliated to me at all.
Okay, so
I mean, it's like when Sherry did her little background check a long time back. She came up with 8 different names. I mean, just because a name is close to my spelling or to what I use, it doesn't necessarily mean it has anything to do with me.
Okay.
Because I've strictly only used 2 names.
Your second wife was
named...
named...
if you look, Andrew James was my name.
Okay, your second wife was Connie, and she's passed away, correct?
Connie's passed away, that is correct.
That was your second wife?
Correct.
Okay. We have a marriage certificate here with James Sadolchi, with this date of birth and this place of birth, married to Connie during the years that you were married to Connie. So you say this name has nothing to do with you, but we have a marriage certificate with your wife during the years you were married to her. How is that?
I said I used 2 the names. Look at my name I used today, which is my actual birth name, Andrew James Stolze was the name that I used for my entire time down there.
Well, Andrew James and James are spelled different. This is S-A-D-O-L-C-I, this is S-A-D-O-L-C, and this one is S-A-D-O-I-C, and those...
Right, I mean, but a misspelling of a name like I have, people misspell my name on a daily basis. It doesn't necessarily put any intent there to do anything illegal or to manipulate something.
Well,
a
that's what I
misspelling
want
of
to
a
know.
name is a misspelling of a name. Let's see the document that it's on, and you would see that I didn't write it out. It's got nothing to do with me.
Well,
I had a common name that was commonly misspelt.
Clear this up, because I think this will help you get past, Sherry, a lot of your concerns, because you say that you have a Bachelor of Science and Psychology degree, and Sherry says she got this from a resume on your computer where you say you have a Bachelor of Science and Psychology degree. So that is correct, true?
Correct.
Okay. You say that you have an MS in clinical mental health. This is according to Sherry, because she says she got this from a resume on your computer as well. So you do have an MS in clinical mental health.
That is what I studied, yes.
Well, do you have an MS in clinical mental health? Your resume says you do.
My master's, yes.
Okay, so you do
yes.
have it. Okay. Then an MBA in business and organizational psychology. Tim, this is a quote from you. I told her, Sherry, I was a psychologist and went to school for organizational psychology. I did organizational psychology in Beverly Hills. You say that his schooling was apparently UCLA for a medical degree and Pepperdine for this MBA. And according to Sherry, you got this from the resume on his computer. So, again, we have the MBA in business and organizational psychology. These are things you two can agree on, so there's no more puzzle about this. So you do have an MBA in business and organizational psych, correct?
I have it in organizational psychology, correct.
All right. So see, there are things you guys can agree on here. Then a PsyD, and according to Sherry, again, coming from your resumes on your computer, she has one here that says you have a PsyD in psychology. Is that organizational psych?
Yes.
Okay. Because I didn't know they offered a PsyD in organizational psych, but so this is correct. True? So no matter what the media says, he's telling you today these things are correct. And she also has a screen grab from your Twitter here that's at Dr. Tim 2, and then a business card from Platinum Pacific Financial, which says that you have an MBA and a PsyD as well. So those things y'all can quit arguing about because you're saying that's correct.
Sorry, I lost you there.
Okay. What I was saying is you guys can stop arguing about that because you're clearing that up and saying that is correct. And then also here, she says that you told one of the other women in your life he was going to go back to work to the law firm in Los Angeles. And we have here some letterhead that say law offices of Andrew J. Stolze. Do you have a law degree?
No, not at all. My partners in Beverly Hills had the law office. I never had a law office.
Well, this says law offices of Andrew J. Stolze.
I have no idea where you got that from. I've never even seen that.
Okay. Where did you get your PsyD?
I went to Regis and I studied in University of Budapest.
So Sherry says you said you got your medical degree at UCLA. We talked to them. They said they have no record of Tim Stolze or any of the aliases that we mentioned. She said, we've been told you went to Pepperdine. They say we have no records of Timothy Stolze or any of the other aliases we provided. University of Budapest. It just doesn't exist. We can't even find a University of Budapest. And you said Regis University. We talked to their registrar, and they said you registered at Regis, but you never attended a single class.
No, I attended classes. The school that I originally went to is called St. Regis University.
Well, this is Regis University in Colorado, and our producer asked you if this was Regis.
No, wasn't it? It was not in Colorado. It was in Los Angeles at the time it existed.
Okay, St. Regis University.
It is no longer a university. It was shut down.
Well, we talked to our representatives in Budapest, and they say there is no University of Budapest. So how did you get a PsyD from the University of Budapest?
I said the university was in Budapest. It has a completely different name to it.
What's the name?
It now it's changed its name. It used to be the University of Budapest. It is different now in what it's called. It was amalgamated into two larger units that were joined into one university.
What would that university be?
Things have changed over the period of time since 1990s.
Right. What's it called now?
I'll take a break. I'll be happy to look it up, and I'll give it to you. Did I hold a NASCAR driving license? Yes, I did. Did I drive the car? Yes, I did. You can go pick the phone up and ask him.
Well, we did.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil, what turned this beauty
She beat up one of her friends. I broke her nose.
into a violent vixen?
She says that you're hitting her.
Being spanking is not hitting you.
I've watched you beat my mom my whole life. Ripped her shirt up, red marks all over.
No, that's discipline.
Have you thrown your wife on the ground and hit her?
No.
Yes, she has. Who do you think you are?
I'm in charge of the household. That's who I am.
That's tomorrow.
Your fiance, Jerry, is here. You two met online in 2007?
Yes.
Right. And what was his name?
When I met him, it was Andrew James Sadolsi.
Andrew James Sadolsi. Okay. Sabolsi.
In the beginning, it was Sabolsi, and then he changed it to Sadolsi. He took the B out and put a D in, and left off the S and used the CI.
Did you play hockey?
I played hockey as a kid. I tried to travel and try out for teams when I was younger, but did I play professional hockey? No, listen, I've never said that. I said I tried to make it to the teams, and I was very good back in my day, but I did not make it there. It's kind of like the NASCAR driver thing that keeps throwing up. I said that I owned a team and used to drive NASCAR. It was a hobby. It wasn't a way to make a living. I mean, we spent money paying to run a car.
All right, well, so Sherry, you said, quote, he told me he was an ex-pro hockey player for the Hartford Whalers and the L.A. Kings. And Jerry, you said other careers he told me about included pro hockey player. We talked to the Hartford Whalers and the L.A. Kings, and they both say they have no record of Timothy or Andrew or any of those aliases.
I said I tried out and tried to try out for those teams. I never said I would actually physically played and got paid by them.
You never said you were a NASCAR driver, just that you owned a team.
I owned a team that we raced in the Winston West. Did I hold a NASCAR driving license? Yes, I did. Did I drive the car? Yes, I did. That was a hobby. We paid for the car. We had a few sponsors on the car. It's not a job. It's not a living. I mean, the only time you can consider that a living if you're driving in the Sprint Cup.
Well, we talked with NASCAR's corporate representatives, and they said our records reveal that Andrew J. Sadolch has never been licensed as a team owner or driver within the NASCAR organization, although he applied for a license to race lower-level weekly series. He never completed the application process, and in fact, he has an outstanding sum due to NASCAR related to that. We can also confirm there is no such team as Salem Racing. so they don't know it.
I had the license and raced under the license for a year. According to NASCAR, because I did talk to them myself several weeks back when I was trying to get a copy of the license to show it to Sherry. I was told at that time that my partners did not complete the entire payment to them. As a result, they now consider the license not to have been issued. Their terminology is quite, can be deceiving because the license was issued. It was used for over a year. But now when I asked even to get information and get a copy of the license, I was told that since it wasn't paid, completely paid for back in that day, that it doesn't exist as far as they're concerned. You can go pick the phone up and ask them, and they will confirm that's exactly what they told me.
Well, we did. We did. No, seriously, we talked to their legal department, and I didn't read you the whole thing because they went on to say this didn't kind of happen, sort of happen, almost happened, not under any name. We gave them all of the name combinations, aliases, different time periods, Salem Racing, your name, all the other names that you may have used in combination names. They said, all we have is one application, never got completed, and owes us money. Hey, Dr. Phil here. Did you know that more than 16 million kids in the U.S. are at risk of hunger each day? That's more than 1 in 5 children. Now, these are our neighbors, our kids that play in the neighborhood, co-workers, friends' children. The problem is closer than you would think, but so is the solution. Join me and visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank to help. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America.
You're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we? Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. Well, I've been talking with Tim, and Sherry and Jerry are here. You know, Tim sent an email that he wanted me to read yesterday, and he says that you're, as I mentioned earlier, that you're doing this for attention. You're doing it to bolster some radio show you have on the air, and that there were things that he didn't share with you, he tells me in this email, that he will beat himself up for every day for not being forthcoming with you about some of these things, but that you, on the other hand, had things you were not forthcoming with him about, that you had been engaged a number of times, that you were promiscuous, that there were things that you weren't straight with him about. Tim, am I summarizing that correctly?
Obviously, I mustn't be that bad of a guy considering the fact that after 2 months of, being apart, we get back together, and as you've seen the text message I sent, it was like, I love you again, and we were spending time sleeping together and, trying to repair things. But I know she's going to act like it never happened, even though you do have the text messages to show that.
I understand that Tim gave the show all these text messages. I personally have never seen text messages look quite like this, and some of this stuff looks a little familiar, but there's some parts in here where the words are outside of the text message, which don't make any sense to me. He clearly has altered some things. I think this shows what lengths he will go to create a ruse. He will do his research and he will sit down and create things. And this is exactly what he did to me to prove he was a psychiatrist. So I'm not surprised. Rather than going out and working for a living and getting a real job, he chooses to spend his time like this.
Is there a future for the two of you?
This has all been about me. I mean, where's the fairness and the balance on this one with the things that she held back?
Do you want to talk about her past? Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, live strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Is there a future for the two of you?
At this point, no, I can't see a future for us.
Tim, do you want a future with her?
Well, I've always said to her I wanted a future with her. There was never any, anything to change that in any difference. This has all been about me, and all the things that I've held back. I mean, where's the fairness and the balance on this one with the things that she held back on me, that she put such importance into my past on this relationship. She had a very sordid past, very promiscuous with the other people she was with. We never discussed the men she was engaged to or the others that weren't there.
Do you want to talk about her past?
If Sherry had a promiscuous background with these gentlemen that she lived with and the swinger groups that I had to hang around with for 6 months without knowing who these individuals were and being paraded to parties to find out that my wife had slept with most of these people, I mean, what's the wrong in that one? I mean, is there not a wrong there as well, that was hidden from me and I was forced to go to all these parties not knowing who these people are?
I never went to prison.
Yeah, so you make that up. You never went to prison.
All right, so he's saying that you were less than honest with him because you did not give him details about your romantic history, your sexual assignations, your dating history, or whatever prior to the time that the two of you got married. Is that true?
That's not true. He knew everything about me. Everything.
What did you find out afterwards that you didn't know before, Tim? Let's hold her accountable.
To be straight up honest, I never knew any of these individuals that we went to birthday parties or barbecues with. I had no idea they were swingers. That was never disclosed to me until not even a month and a half prior to our wedding when we sat and talked about it. And the reason it was disclosed is because we were changing the plans and cutting those individuals out from the wedding because they were already telling Sherry my background and getting into her business. And she didn't want to have them causing chaos for us at the wedding. And so she chose to step back from them as friends and move forward with me and her as a couple.
Were you a swinger?
No, I was not.
Well, she's now lying here saying she never was a swinger. I will tell you that together we were doing it. So for her to sit here and sit there and say she doesn't live in a glass house is absolutely ridiculous. She wanted to bring everybody on the show and hang me some more. It's about time that she sees that her past is not all that great either.
All right, we're out of time for today. I want to thank all of my guests for being here. For more information on today's show, please log on to drphil.com. Thanks. We'll see you.